Has Gooseworx responded to me? And what's going on now? This video is going to be about the whole story that started with this video. Let's just talk and discuss all the nuances of this situation today. Here you will hear my opinion on everything that has been related to me on various Gooseworx social media platforms. Stock up on candy or just put this video on in the background and listen to the full breakdown of this situation and how it could affect not only you and me, but the digital circus as a whole. Let's get our amazing digital video started. For new viewers, I'd like to give you the beginning of the whole story behind this video. We're not going to get into the topic of hating or mocking Gooseworx, but we're going to get right to the point. There are such things as content farm channels, and their activities are tied to absolutely every popular phenomenon, and unfortunately our favorite digital circus has fallen into their crosshairs. The most vivid representative of this direction is a network of channels, Hornstromp, and everything would be fine if they just created alternative content about the digital circus, and even if they used the same characters in the same locations, but at the same time came up with interesting ideas and created content for the sake of creativity. It would be all right. But such channels were created only for the purpose of parasitizing on popular themes with subsequent financial gain for themselves. And at some point there was a post with Gooseworx's opinion about this phenomenon, and then we saw a satirical mini-comic about this situation. After that, Gooseworx was accused that people were just having fun and why she was reacting in any way. But think about it. You created the most global project in the world, watched by millions of people around the world. And then you have parodies of your creation that have very strange messages. And on top of that, most of the audience doesn't support or understand your dissatisfaction. And after that, we didn't hear anything about this situation for about a month and a half. This issue started to come up again on various YouTube channels. I also made a video about it. And a week later, Gooseworx took to Twitter to mock me and some other content creators. And from that point on, things started to pick up again. When I saw the thumbnail of my video on Twitter Gooseworx, I have to tell you, I was honestly surprised because I didn't think she knew my channel existed. But on the other hand, I was kind of happy that we've become a really big channel for digital circus. Thank you all for that. I also mentioned this post in one of the videos at the end and forgot about this situation. And then a few days ago, a post from our favorite Gooseworx appeared on Tumblr, in which she commented on the content of my, and not only my, video about this whole situation. Let's read together what she wrote and then start to understand what I really meant and what was the point of my video. I've seen people blame me for the content farm videos, saying I could have stopped them, as if I'm not the one feeling the most pained and disgraced by their existence. I've talked to Glitch about it when they first started showing up, plus several other times when people kept asking me to do something about them, but nothing will be enough to stop them. I can be your scapegoat if you want, but it's not going to change anything. When all is said and done, I hope at the very least Digital Circus can be a somewhat enjoyable show in a vacuum. My job is to write and direct a show, so that's what I'm going to be focusing my efforts on. I don't know whether or not I'll succeed, but I'm going to try. At the beginning, Gooseworx says that I accused her of not doing anything to solve the situation with the farm channels. At the same time, she says that she is the one who is most unhappy with the situation, and that Glitch can't do anything about the channels either. Perhaps because of the fact that this network of channels is a very large network that enjoys the confidence of YouTube. But if we are objective with you, in this so-called conflict, YouTube itself would take the side of Gooseworx and Glitch, at least because of the influence on the audience on the world-famous video hosting. However, there is an unspoken rule that no creator will throw complaints about someone else using their characters and remaking the show to their liking. But that's not what this is about right now. Let's get to the point. My video was not meant to accuse Gooseworx of being cowardly or insecure or not responding or trying to fix the problem. And especially, I did not mean to hurt Gooseworx's feelings in any way or bring her into conflict. I have a lot of respect to this person for all the hard work thanks to which we can watch our favorite show. So I will always support Gooseworx, and if it happens that she decides to do away with the farm channels, I will be the first to support her. I was also hurt by Gooseworx's words that she feels the most pain and shame because of their existence. I understand her pain, but I will never understand why Gooseworx should feel shame that farm channels that live off parodies of the digital circus exist. If I were Gooseworx, I certainly wouldn't blame myself for the fact that I created the most popular show of the fall, and other writers started cashing in on it. I would ask Gooseworx to calm down and not pay such close attention to their existence. And please stop blaming yourself and feeling some kind of embarrassment or shame about someone not acting in a completely reasonable and honest way. Also, I thought these channels only started bothering Gooseworx after she started posting about their existence. But from the same post, we learn that she knew about them at the time of the inception of the Digital Circus videos on their channels. And even then, she was talking to the Glitch channel team about how to fix the problem. And then it happened again after people started reminding Gooseworx about their existence. From this, we can understand that this problem has been on Gooseworx's mind for a long time, and it's clearly bothering her. And as we know, if there is some long-lived problem in the head, it only grows stronger with time, and I really hope that the thought of the existence of such channels is not a trigger in the normal life of Goose. I have already explained to you why no one can have any influence on this situation. But in fact, Glitch have the right to file a complaint in this case. Imagine how they will look in the eyes of the audience. Of course, this situation will hit Glitch's reputation very hard, and in this case, I think it's better to just get over it. Especially with each new week, people have less and less interest in watching them. I think the whole point is that everyone already wants and is very much looking forward to the release of the new episode. Back to our post. The saddest part of this post is Goose saying that she can be scapegoat if we want, but unfortunately, it won't change anything. Dear Gooseworx, we don't demand absolutely nothing from you but only want to support you in such a difficult situation. Of course, you don't have to put yourself in such a position that all reproaches or something like that will be directed towards you. And you certainly don't need to call yourself a scapegoat because I certainly don't think you are one. And now let's discuss the last paragraph of Gooseworx's post. I am sure that this will be the final point after which there will be no mention of this situation. And I fully agree with her position that the Digital Circus should become a spicy show in a vacuum. But on the other hand, it is practically impossible because such a phenomenon as Digital Circus has become a very popular show, and therefore in a vacuum, it can no longer be, at least, because many people are very interested in this project. And the more episodes there will be, the stronger will be the popularity of Digital Circus, and as a consequence, more and more people will use this show as a source of inspiration or profit. And I fully support Gooseworx in her decision to abstract from this situation and concentrate on her work. Because as we can see from the pilot episode, she's very good at it, and I'm sure that you will do very well. We believe in you and we wish you nothing but happiness. Well, let's put the final point in this situation, and I hope that you will not see any more videos on this channel about this whole situation. Once again, I do not have even the slightest idea to blame or reproach Gooseworx in any way. I think that she is doing the right thing in not reacting to the provocations and accusations of some users. Honestly, I don't think that this will have any effect on the future of the Digital Circus, and such a small thing as content farm channels or various provocateurs will definitely not be an obstacle for the release of new episodes. For my part, I can only apologize to Gooseworx if my video somehow offended or hurt her feelings, because as I said before, I had no thoughts of saying anything bad about the creator of Digital Circus. I believe that there won't be any more provocations on this topic because I really want Goose's energies to be focused on one goal only: the release of the second episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. And in this case, it will be better for everyone if Gooseworx or anyone else involved with the Digital Circus will not have any triggers on any of the occasions that are indirectly or directly related to the Digital Circus. I want to urge you all to support the authors and not become the herd that does nothing but try to get emotional or negative about people who are more successful than they are. For those who find it funny to watch Gooseworx trying to make a point in this situation for more than the first time, I can only say that you should stop it. Let's just let people do their art in peace. I hope we understand each other. And that concludes our conversation video. I can only say once again that I never wanted to offend or accuse Gooseworx, but only told the full chronology of the whole situation and expressed my opinion. And it's time to say see you soon in new videos that appear every 2 days without delay.